everyone, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Alex, and if this is not your first time here, welcome back and thank you for coming back and continuing to watch. So this was a requested video, and I apologize, I forgot who requested it. I know I wrote it down, and I think the name began with a Y, and I wrote everything down, and I think I threw out the paper, so hopefully this answers the entire question. But the question was, how do you start training a new command, and how do you do your training sessions? I believe that was all that was in the request. Apparently post-it notes aren't my friend anymore. So just a quick little disclaimer, this is just what I do. This is what I've learned over the years. This is what's worked for me in my life and my lifestyle with my dogs. I'm not a certified dog trainer. I'm a professional pet parent, as some of you have heard me say before. I used to be a professional pet person. Like, I used to work professionally in the pet industry, but I don't anymore for numerous reasons. One, because I have enough stuff to clean up here in this little zoo that we have. So for starters, if I'm bringing home a puppy or a new dog, I'm not doing too much hardcore training like the first 2 weeks that I bring them home. I'm mainly focused on making sure that they don't crap in my house, that they are sticking to the routine, and that they are understanding how mealtime works. And when I say mealtime works, it's because I have multiple dogs, so I have to make sure everybody's knows their place and stuff like that. So I'm kind of focused on getting to know them as a dog, and vice versa, they have to get to know me. But my main focus is just getting them settled in the first 2 weeks. And then as I'm getting to know the dog starts to get to know me and go, holy crap, she's just as crazy as I am. This is awesome. So it works. And during that time period, you know, just using words like dinner and potty and things like that, they start picking up on that because they're associating those words with the situations they're in. I think the only official command that I use during this time period is come or come here, because, you know, in case those little buggers want to make a break for it, you like go off on adventures without mommy, like I want to make sure, I want to try to get them back, because I don't want my puppies really running off anywhere. I mean, we do have a fenced in yard, but teaching them to like recall is important during this time period, obviously, because you don't want to lose your puppy. And that's usually pretty easy to start teaching your puppy because they want to be with you anyway. So teaching them to come to you it starts kind of naturally, if that makes sense. And even to encourage it, you know, you just kind of shake a toy in front of their face, you know, or tap on the ground and tell them come or come here. And again, they'll start picking up on that because they'll understand the words associated with a certain action or situation. After that initial settling in time period, that's when I will start to teach a command or a trick. And my general rule of thumb is to teach one per week and teach that for the entire week. I think most trainers do that, or at least they used to. I'm not sure if that's still what they teach because I'm kind of out of the game. Like, I'm not sure it's going on half the time. Well, I'm not sure it's going on half the time anyway, but that's another story. And if you have cattle dogs, usually when you're teaching them, some of them will pick up what you're teaching them within a day, maybe like even up to 3 days. So, and you might think a whole week is too long, but it's kind of just my general rule of thumb that you give that one command the entire week to make sure they know it. And healers are smart little land sharks. I mean, they pick up things really quickly. But I always stick with a week, and I always keep the training sessions to about 5 minutes a day. Yes, I said a day. Especially with puppies, because puppies have like no attention span. So just 5 minutes of trying to teach them whatever you're trying to teach them that day is plenty, in my opinion. I do that every day for a week, and they usually get it, like I said, especially for healers, 1 to 3 days. But doing that every day for 5 minutes for a week, it kind of really makes sure it gets instilled in their brain. So the second week, I will start with whatever we learned the previous week. And if I can see that they understand it and they've got it, then I will move on to teach them something new. So anytime you're teaching your dog something new, you have to show them what you're trying to teach them. So say, for example, the first week, you taught them sit, and you would show them how to sit by putting them in that position. So like say the second week you're trying to teach give paw, or I know some people use shake. We say give paw because shake in our house is shake the water out from after your bath. But it's pretty easy to show them what you want. I mean, especially for like give paw, you just gently like grab their leg and hold their paw, and you got treats in the other hand, have them like focus on the sniff, have them focus on the sniff. That's what it's called, right? Focus on the sniff. You know, you have the treat in the one hand and they're sniffing, and as you got their paw and you say the command while you're doing it and giving them a treat. It's really that simple, but you're still showing them what you're doing. And then you can try to ask them, give paw, and see if they connected what you're doing. And if they don't, then you just do it again until they understand what it means. So just repeating that, doing that daily, they'll start to get it. Like, you have to show them how to do everything, though. You have to show them what sit is and give paw and all that stuff. You just have to put them in that position. But obviously you want to do it gently. You don't want to be like a forceful tyrant or anything like that. But sit is the first thing I will teach actually when training starts, because sit is the best position to help lead them into other tricks. Like from sit, you can go to down, crawl, puppy push-ups, which is basically just going from sit to down and then sit again. Sit is also great when you're teaching them to give paw as well. So every week I just add something new, and the training sessions always start off small, like for about 5 minutes. And then the more they learn, the training sessions last a little bit longer. And I will go through each command on each training session. So if they've learned up to 3 tricks, I will mix it up and see if they know all 3 before moving on to the new one. The more they start to learn and know what to do, whether it's an actual like command just to behave themselves, or if it's like something cute like dance or something like that, you know, you just kind of mix it up during the training sessions. And usually I would say we do about like, once they get up to the point of learning almost everything I want them to learn, it's usually about like maybe 15-20 minute training session. But once they learn all that stuff, I don't do it every day. I only do the every day for 5 minutes when I'm teaching. Once they learn it, you know, then it becomes just like this fun random session that we do. And I randomly pick it during the week when we do it, because like there's way other fun stuff that we could be doing, like going for walks and hikes and, you know, stuff like that. So I don't need to do training sessions for cutesy little tricks every day once they learn it. But that's just me. So there's like a certain set of commands and tricks that I do with my dogs, and, you know, any kind of the more fun stuff like agility stuff, that stuff to me comes later. You know, I want them to do just certain things to where they know how to act in the house and, you know, cutesy little tricks in my home, you know, type thing. But it's all preference. It's all preference up to you what you want to teach your dog. If you don't want to teach your dog dance, you don't have to teach a dance. And some dogs don't understand dance, you know, like it's going to be totally up to you and how your household works. Food is a great motivator to get your dog to learn the tricks, and it's really helpful when you have the treat in your hand to have them follow it. Like if you're trying to get them into down position or to crawl, you know, you have them kind of follow the treat, and that helps them learn what you're trying to have them learn. Or should we teach how they learn? Man, brain died again. I think yeah, coffee. Just having a day. And when you have the treat in your hand and having them follow the treat and getting them into either sit position or whatever you're trying to teach them, you know, it's always important to say the command while you're doing whatever you're doing. Like whatever you're trying to show them. Always use the word. I repeat it a couple times usually during, like if I say give paw, I'm asking them to give paw a couple times. Maybe like 3 to 4 times during the whole action of it or something. I don't know. I make sure I repeat it, because especially with healers, they are so good at picking up on words and even whole phrases and conversations that, you know, they'll pick up on the association with this means give paw or whatever you're teaching. And at a certain point when they've learned all these tricks, I don't even do a reward after each command anymore. Like I will have them go through like all 5 to 10 things that I'm asking of them before I reward them with a cookie. You know, we're at a point where we don't always give them a treat afterwards, because, you know, they really don't need the extra calories. You know, it might be like 2 tricks and they get a treat, or it might be 5 tricks and they get a treat. You know, it just depends on my mood of the day. I always use tiny treats during training sessions, whether it's like pre-bought tiny treats, or if I have bigger cookies, I will break them up into like smaller cookies, because if you're constantly giving a treat during training, you don't want it to be a full cookie, because that could potentially like get your dog sick, kind of like, you know, how you have like a food coma over like ice cream or too much pizza or something, you know, like you don't want to do that during training, because your dog can get sick if you do way too much. So I always suggest tiny treats. They don't need a lot. I mean, they're going to be like super excited just getting the little morsel that you're giving them. So don't think you're being a bad person by not giving them the full cookie, because you'd be surprised how in 5 minutes how many cookies you could actually give a dog when you're teaching them a trick. So you want to make sure they're small treats. My opinion though. If you have multiple dogs, or if you're nuts like me and got 2 healer puppies at once, you definitely want to make sure you do separate training sessions. I know there was a few times where, you know, I had all 5 of our dogs, and, you know, I would tell the 3 older ones to sit, and the girls kind of picked up on that. So I kind of cheated a little bit on the training, you know, because they were watching the older ones. But, you know, to make sure they really understood it, I had to do individual separate training sessions. And like I said, it's only 5 minutes a day. I mean, it's really not that much. You don't have to like go into like super hour-long training sessions with your dog. Just short periods a day, and then, you know, like I said, it gets up to a longer period of time, but eventually you don't have to do it every day. But training sessions for us are just basically like QC little trick type training things, you know, with the exception of like come here or get down or off or whatever. But I think like those type of commands are more like things they should be learning in their daily life, like telling them to get off the couch or to come to you. And then when it's time to teach them how to walk on a leash and stuff, to me that's not even involved in those type of training sessions. That's a whole other like training session by itself. And even with puppies, I first only do maybe like 10-minute walks, you know, especially if they're real little. You don't want to over-exercise your puppy. And teaching them how to walk is the same as teaching them tricks. It's a slow, gradual thing to get them up to that point. You don't have to do it all at once, and you shouldn't expect them to know and understand it all at once. Small sessions, then it gets to bigger sessions. And then you should have hopefully a well-mannered-ish cattle dog by the time it's 8 months old, maybe 10. There's other issues that still need to be probably addressed after the 10 months, and this is why I also scream about routine a lot too, because the training sessions can be part of your routine. You know, you have your feeding routine, your going out potty routine, you know, you grab that treat bag out and they're gonna know like, oh, it's that time of the day, you know, it's all a part of having a schedule with your dog and just making it fun and being patient. Please be patient. They're not gonna know right away. You have to show them. You have to set them up for success, and if they don't get it right away, you can just tell them it's okay. And if they do get it the next time you say something, you know, really praise them and get excited about it, and they'll pick up on it really quick. I know a lot of other dog breeds learn quick too, but healers will, if you put the time into them, you'll be amazed at how quickly they learn at what you want. Even though they still will try to test you for a while. For life. So I hope this answered the initial question. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and remember to click all the buttons, the like, subscribe, and what's the other one? The bell. All the buttons. And I will see you next time.